The recent increase in direct flights between Hungary and China is a great boon to business people and investors. It's also a dream opportunity to the tourism industry and cultural exchanges. So how will Hungary reap the dividends? And the visa-free entry scheme put in place by China for Hungarians and many other countries in Europe and across Asia. Are we going to see an influx of tourists in China? To discuss all these issues and more, I'm delighted to welcome László Könnyid. He's the CEO of the Hungarian Tourism Agency, to share his insights. Director General Könnyid, welcome to CGTN. I want to begin by asking you this question. We are marking the 75th anniversary of the founding of our relationship. Your country is one of the earliest countries to recognize People's Republic in 1949. Is that correct?
Yes, we are very proud of this fact that Hungary was one of the first nations to recognize the People's Republic of China and to establish the diplomatic relations. And that's why the time and moment we are sitting down and talking about relations between China and Hungary is the perfect time. There could be no better time, because once we have this anniversary, and the second reason is that we are extremely honored and humbled that the President of China is visiting our beautiful city and our country.
So what does this 75th anniversary mean to you, both professionally, as head of the tourist agency under the Ministry of Economics, and then what does this anniversary mean to you personally, as you studied Chinese history in school and progressing along your career, having this China portfolio?
First of all, let me start with the 75 years. It's a long tenure, it's a long time, and the relationship between the two countries on the tourism field has developed enormously. Before the pandemic, we had many flights from China and several 100,000 guest nights in Hungary. And luckily, we already reached the number at the beginning of 2024, this year. When we look the first 4 months this year, we had more than 100,000 guest nights from Chinese visitors, already 10% higher than in 2019. So we have excellent figures. And the last 75 years were necessary to develop a relationship in tourism to be on this high level. This year, we are marking this special friendship and special relationship in a year where Hungary will take over the European Union Council presidency on the 1st of July, which means we will lead the nations of the European Union in many fields and many subjects in the coming months, starting in summer till end of December. And the visit of the President of China comes at the perfect time, since this is the year where many things happen. We will have the opportunity as well this year, opening a new window to the tourism of China and for the relations of European Union and China in tourism. So for me personally, we had many good experiences in the last few years. I paid more than 10 visits to China because the importance of friendship with our Chinese counterparts.
I liked it.
Yes, and I was lucky enough to visit the major cities in China. I already have many friends in Beijing, in Shanghai, in Hong Kong, in Ningbo.
You found any similarities between the Chinese and Hungarians?
I would say the way of thinking. Both our nations and both our people are hardworking people, and we have the same mindset about many issues and many things. In China, as well as in Hungary, if we have a task, if we have a topic, we only believe in success. This is what I learned in China, and especially in the Year of the Dragon, this is a good opportunity to restart and to come with new energies and restart tourism, for instance.
Very good. Hungary is expecting the Chinese president who will be visiting Budapest. What are your expectations? What do you hope to see coming out of this summit?
What I will see is when the president is visiting Budapest, or any country, I guess, in the world, in this case Hungary and Budapest, we will be on the map. We will be central and focused in China for many days, and this will attract even more tourists in the future, in 2024 and also in the coming years. But not only for tourism is this visit enormously important. We have economic ties as well. So for the business between the two countries, it will help to elevate our relationship even on a higher level in the coming months and years to come.
May I ask, how is President Xi perceived here?
President Xi is well expected in Hungary since the preparations for the state visit are going on now for several weeks and months, and the Hungarian people know about this fact. And us who are working on tourism, we were especially keen on his visit because we knew this opportunity is, I would say, once in a lifetime, that President Xi's visit will help to elaborate and to speed up many negotiations and many upcoming projects, even in tourism field.
Let's talk about some specifics. We heard that there will be more direct flights between our two countries, adding more Chinese cities having direct flights, and there will be some new records, correct?
Yes, when we see the numbers, we already see a 10% increase after the first 4 months this year on the number of guest nights. But starting from summer, we will have 7 Chinese cities having a direct flight to Budapest. And with these 7 cities, we will be the most frequented destination in Central and Eastern Europe. No other city will have a direct connection with 7 flights to China. So when you ask me what is the opportunity after President Xi's visit, I would say we will have these flights from summer. For tourism, this is an enormous opportunity. We will be able to dramatically increase the number of guest nights from China. But let me frank, not only Chinese guests will arrive to Budapest, we will have the opportunity for Hungarian people visiting China in our cultural exchange, because Hungarians are really keen and curious what China has to offer, and we will have more opportunity to visit beautiful Chinese cities. So this is both ways.
So how do you feel about China's decision to exempt visas for Hungarian citizens?
These 2 steps,
is it helping?
I guess so, because these two steps are really connected with each other. After the decision of China to offer this opportunity for Hungarians to visit China without a visa, we see an increase in numbers of Hungarian people booking travel to China.
Is this significant?
I would say it's significant because Hungarians like to travel to destinations where there is no visa burden. So this is a fact, and for this reason...
Who doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't? For this reason, I guess this is an excellent opportunity. And now having 7 Chinese cities, more than 20 flights a week to several destinations, there is an opportunity to choose a destination. If a Hungarian is flying to China, normally on the travel plan, there is always Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong, but now we have more cities to offer for our travelers, for Hungarians to visit China.
As the Director General of the tourist authorities, can I ask you something? Can I ask you to maybe devise an itinerary for a Chinese tourist, for, let's say, a 3-day visit, which is what, the average night stay?
Excellent, perfect. You seem to know our data, what the data shows. The average stay of a Chinese guest and customer in Hungary is 3.4 nights, which is excellent because in many Western European cities this stay is perhaps a bit shorter, but Hungary has many things to offer. And I'm extremely proud that the Chinese guests not only visiting our capital, Budapest, but they have an interest, a cultural interest, a landscape interest in the countryside of Hungary. On the first day, I guess any visit to our beautiful capital has to be started in the Castle district. Up on the Castle Hill are the most important and historical buildings of the city. And if you make a walk, like let's say 1 hour or 2 hours, you can breathe in the 19th century, the 20th century old historic buildings and the architecture. Now you have the feeling, where did you come? What Hungary has to offer. After that, a visit to our beautiful parliament building has to be high on the agenda. This is one of the most visited iconic buildings in Central Europe. You will have a taste about the parliament building, and probably a great walk along the Danube. The Danube in Budapest has a central role, and every tourist has to spend several hours along the Danube because Budapest is also called Queen of the Danube for this specific reason. The next day in Budapest, there is no visit in Budapest without visiting a spa. Budapest has many historical spas from the 19th century, warm water. You are just imagine a water with 38 degrees, 36 degrees, so warm water. We have historical buildings. just the venue itself is beautiful and perfect when you have a spa. After that, if you visit the opera building and a piece of art, probably a museum in the evening, then you have a perfect 2-day trip to Budapest. And after that, you have to go to the countryside.
Is your portfolio include culture and at large, or just tourism?
In my opinion, culture is really close to tourism, and the two are glued together, because if Chinese customers are visiting Hungary, they are keen on culture. They want to see a piece of art in the museum. They want to go to a play in the opera. They want to go to a concert. They want to talk about famous Hungarian composers like Liszt or like Kodály. So it's really close to tourism, because culture is one of the reasons why you go and travel. And therefore, it is in my portfolio in certain way.
And because many Chinese writers, they found their partners here in Hungary, also the classical music that Hungary has produced for the world, and which is becoming a very important legacy in the world of classical music, which is well received by the Chinese.
If we talk about the Kodály method, I know that the children in China up until this day are taught in the elementary school how the Kodály method works when you learn about music and how to sing and how to think about classical music. We are really proud of that. And I was deeply impressed, I have to tell you, on every visit when I go to China and I visit different destinations, and you know, every single person I met in China, and I'm really proud of it as well, everyone knew about our famous Hungarian poet Petőfi, Sándor Petőfi. It was a great honor to see that in life and to feel that about this legacy, who lived in the 19th century, who played a crucial role in our revolution, is well received in China. Everyone knows about him, and probably even some of his art and some of his poems are still in China.
One of the most famous and celebrated Chinese writers, Lu Xun, in one of his old residences, he has the statue of that very respected Hungarian writer. What do you think is the common thread that is connecting the emotions of Chinese in appreciating the Hungarian writers?
I think the way of thinking is a common thread in between, how the nature is described in the poems, how the feelings, how the mindset of the people. That's why I started by telling you that, in my opinion, the Hungarian and Chinese way of thinking is very close to each other. The importance of nature, the importance of personal relationship, the family life, the importance of family life. This is what we see in Chinese writings and also in Hungarian writings.
Yeah, because today I picked up a newspaper here in Hungary, which was translated into Chinese, which I read on my phone, written by none other than President Xi. And he said the Hungarian-Chinese fraternity is a heart-to-heart friendship.
Yes, I completely agree. And in the same writing of the president, you were also able to find the importance of the Tokaj wine, because he is talking also about the essence of Tokaj wine. And the friendship between China and Hungary is similar to Tokaj wine. It's an essence of friendship.
Director General, there's a very common question asked by many Chinese, that is it easy, or is it getting easier to get a Schengen visa? Because sometimes they go through some Western Europe, a French mission in Beijing, for example, they get refused of their visa application.
We are closely monitoring the situation. It's important that Chinese guests get a procedure, through a quick procedure they get the Schengen visa. Our embassy in Beijing and all the consulate generals in all territories of China, they work together with enormous number of agencies, and there are many spots all over China to have a Hungarian Schengen visa, basically combine the two, and it goes really smoothly. I don't receive any complaints from China to the tourist office or the embassy, so it seems whoever wishes to visit our country will be able to.
But they have to book a hotel and make the flight connecting a Chinese city and making a Hungarian city their first stop in order to obtain a Hungarian Schengen visa.
Yes, that's necessary that the first stop is in Hungary and at least one night is spent in Hungary. But I don't have any considerations about that because, like I told you, 3.4 nights is the average stay of a Chinese guest in Hungary. So I guess they are staying more than one night.
Finally, anything else you want to say to our viewers in China watching this?
Finally, I'm really happy that you are here and President Xi is visiting Budapest and Hungary, and we are welcoming as many tourists from China as we can, and we would be happy to see even more guests from China in the coming months and in the coming years.
Director General Könnyid, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of The Hub on CGTN. I'm Wang Guan in Budapest, Hungary. See you next time.